And welcome into the Plant the Flag podcast, coming at you from the J. Burnham Podcast Emporium. If you're watching the stream, welcome in. Thank you for downloading and subscribing. To give you an update as to kind of the podcast hierarchy that we have, of course, we have the Just Being Frank podcast, and we also have the UMass Minute, which covers UMass hockey. And then overarching both those podcasts is the Plant the Flag podcast, which throughout the season we'll be doing interviews with student athletes, other coaches across campus, and excited to bring that to you from this room, which, by the way, sponsorship is available. Your company here, there, be a part of UMass Athletics. We're going to start today with UMass redshirt sophomore on the men's basketball team, Rollie Castineyra. What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Welcome to the Podcast Emporium.
I'm happy to be here.
Dude, today was the first day of practice, by the way, as we record this on Monday. I want to talk about that. I want to talk about life as a student athlete, your history here, but give us the vibe today at practice and kind of getting to know some of these new guys on this team.
Yeah, I mean, right when we started in the summer, you could tell that everyone really got along and we had some really good dudes this year. But as time has went on and practices have gotten more difficult and coaches really, implemented a lot of the stuff that we're going to be doing this year, the guys, when things go wrong, when things go right, they've kept their heads up the entire time. We've all kind of supported each other, and we're really building really good camaraderie. You can feel it whenever you walk in the gym.
Can you translate Frank E's for me, Coach Frank Martin? He last year was yelling about the pick and roll coverage, right?
Yeah.
When he says our pick and roll coverage is garbage, to be frank.
Yeah.
What does that mean to you, and how does he go about trying to fix that when you're playing?
Well, to me, I personally always think it starts with our ball pressure and our guards. So whenever you're getting into a ball screen, the easiest way to guard a ball screen is to not let them use a ball screen. And I think that's kind of what our philosophy is about pressuring the ball. And worst case scenario, they get into a position where they can actually use it. Then the big man has to do his job, whether it be, getting him over the screen, getting him under the screen. We have different calls for every type of way we guard it, but making sure that you call it loud enough for the point guard, whoever's guarding the basketball understands where to be and how to position himself.
Who in the last 2+ years now for you has the most vocal voice on the court where they're calling that play, you know what it is?
Absolutely, Jaden Jingay.
Really?
It could be.
He's the quietest guy.
I think he knows how to turn it on when the time is right. He's the guy that, you could not be in the ball screen, and if our big man is a little quiet, he's the first guy to start yelling at the top of his lungs about what you should be doing, what you need to be doing, and making sure everyone else outside of the screen is in the position that they need to be.
Yeah, I mean, you're kind of in this unique position because there's only a handful of guys that have been here last couple of the seasons, Jingay being one, Daniel Hankins Sanford, being another. When you see a guy like Jingay play and you're there watching on the sidelines, what kind of does it inspire you as a teammate because of how hard he works and how hard he's able to get after it?
Absolutely. I mean, Jaden's a guy I've known him for most of my life.
Wait, you go
we played
UMass.
We played AAU together.
Tell me about that.
Yeah.
All right.
When we were young, we played for a program called the New England Storm, and I was a year younger than him at the time, but I was playing up a grade. So I was on his team. I mean, back then, his claim to fame was always his defense.
Yeah.
And I think that's just kind of translated as time has went on. But absolutely, when you have a guy who was kind of thrown into the fire like that his freshman year, just to be able to start right away and just perform as well as he did for the team and just be able to be so good so early. It's helped me a lot just understanding how I need to operate as someone on the team, especially being a guy who's been here for a lot of years. Just, helping the guys. It doesn't necessarily have to be when a coach is watching.
Yeah.
But if you see a guy struggling, just being able to, I like to think I've done a better job this year, but I'm really trying to be one of the guys that can lead us just because, I know what to do. I've been here for long enough to where I know how the coaches want things to operate and the way that they think. So I'm just trying to help the younger guys figure things out.
Who else is on that prep team that you get? The Storm.
The Storm?
Yeah. Anybody else that we've come across?
Everyone, I don't know, but I mean, there's definitely a lot of guys that played Division I basketball on that team. The only one I know we've come across is a guy named X who plays for UMass Boston now.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Who we saw last year. Against last year. But a bunch of guys that, Isaac Bonilla was on that team. He plays at UMaine. Aiden Kamen was on that team for a little bit. He plays at Stanford now. So there was a bunch of guys that
like good quality
really,
players.
Great quality players. I'm sure I'm forgetting a bunch, but
well, So we got you listed as being from Marblehead, Mass.
Yeah.
You grew up there?
Born and raised.
Okay. And then you decide to go to the Phillips Exeter Academy in New Hampshire.
I went to St. John's Prep for 2 years,
Okay.
which was in Danvers, Massachusetts, and then transferred for my last 2 to Phillips Exeter.
So, I mean, what is that as just a kid? I mean, really, you don't know much.
Yeah.
What is that transition like as you're trying to chase this basketball dream?
Yeah, I mean, especially a guy like me, I'm a big homebody. I loved being at home, but you know, as much as I loved St. John's Prep, for me to reach the goals that I wanted to reach, which was to play Division I basketball, I needed to play at a higher level of high school basketball. And you know, Coach Jay Tilton at Phillips Exeter Academy, when he recruited me, Coach Crotty at Middlesex Magic connected me, and I was able to, you know, connect with him right away, and thought that was a really good place for me. But you know, going into it, you have post grads there, you have older guys, and my team, my junior year, right when I came in, it was me, a kid named Josh Morset, who played at Wofford, a guy who played at Cornell, Chandler PJ, who we've run across a few times at Harvard, and then Dom Campbell, who played at Notre Dame. Oh. So, you know, I came into it right away, and it was a bunch of guys that were going to immediately play high-level basketball.
So here you are, you're like, hey, I'm just transferring in, I'm a junior now, you know, and you kind of had to deal with that too, coming into UMass as a walk-on, right? I mean, how do you compose yourself? Is there imposter syndrome? If it were me, I'd be like, oh my God, do I belong here? Right? Like, look at all these guys. How do you, I guess, get into it and really, I guess, just stake your claim?
Yeah. I mean, this sounds probably a little bit cocky or conceited, but I never had a time where I felt like I didn't belong.
You got to be cocky, man.
I think that was the main thing, is that even when I felt that my skills weren't up to par with everyone else, I know the way that I operate, and I know that I bust my butt, and I know I'm going to get there.
Yeah.
So whether I knew I was going to be a project coming in, I knew I wasn't going to be ready right away. But as long as Coach Frank believed in me, which he did and has, I knew I was going to be able to blossom into the player that I know I could become.
Yeah.
And that same thing in high school. I mean, when I started right away at that new school, I was struggling, and I struggled for a little bit, but you figure it out over time. You just kind of got to keep your nose down and understand that hard work is what's going to get you there. You know, especially here, one of my main deficits was defense, and I think that's one of my strengths now. So just
that's something that he focuses on dearly,
definitely
right?
focuses on dearly. But you know, just getting in the gym and talking to your assistant coaches, understanding where to be at the right time is so important. And the main thing is just competing. I've always been a guy who will compete against anybody, big or small. You know, I don't care. Anytime there was a sub needed in practice, I was the first guy sprinting on the court, even if I wasn't necessarily ready. So, you know, just understanding that the not giving up piece, I think, is the main thing that a coach is looking for.
You have your family has a background with Coach Frank Martin. Mm-hmm. So your dad played at Florida.
Yeah.
And of course, Coach Martin from Florida knows everybody in the state of Florida.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he played 4 years for the Gators on some pretty good teams.
Yeah.
Does he ever tell you stories about?
Oh man,
about that? I think it was mid '80s, '83 to '86.
Yeah. He tells me all kinds of crazy stories. Some of I have so many favorites. Probably some I can't tell over camera.
Okay, all right. This is Rollie. He goes by Rollie too.
He does,
Rollie.
Yeah. My dad would always tell me about how, like, practices, there was no limits back then.
Right.
So, you know, there was days where they were in the gym for 6 hours, and you just kind of had to grind and keep your nose down and just work and you know, hope that the team was going to get it right that day, or you would have to run suicides until you were throwing up on the sideline.
We're fortunate for some of those time constraints these days, right? I mean, that's certainly. I was looking at that roster too. Vernon Maxwell was on that roster, who was a huge,
massive
fan of, big fan of his for the Houston Rockets, and
My dad would told me a story about Vernon, where he said that they would joke around with him because they said that he could just, like, look at the weights in the weight room and get a pump. Like, he was just one of those. He was just one of those guys where, you know, you needed him to lift the weight. He'd be jacked right off the bat right away. You needed him to run the mile. He could do it in 4 minutes.
Just a freak
athlete.
That's
freak
wild,
athlete.
man. Yeah. I looked him up actually because I grew up really following Vernon Maxwell, and I didn't realize he led the NBA back-to-back years in made 3-point shots, which I think was around 170 one year, 172 made threes the next year, which nowadays wouldn't even put you in the top 10. It's crazy, huh? When you think about, I guess, the game now, are you out there as a kid learning early how to shoot that 3-point shot?
Yeah, that's a great question. My dad was my coach growing up, and his whole kind of, for lack of a better word, claim to fame in college was he was a very good shooter. Even in high school, very good shooter. And he didn't have a three-point line. It didn't get implemented until his time in college. So when that three-point line came about, that was his job. He was a three-point shooter. Zones came in to shoot. Growing up, he wanted to make sure that I understood that good form comes from shooting mid-range, shooting close to the rim, understanding that you need to be a great ball handler and getting to the basket. Because as time comes and you get stronger, then you can start to really build your way back out to the three-point line. Kids now, you see them shoot kind of from their chest and push because they shoot threes so early. Then they get older and they don't really build that form, that pretty form that you like to see. My dad, I was lucky enough to have a parent that, would tell me when I was younger, up through 8th grade, he didn't want me shooting any threes.
Wow.
And which is ironic because now it's kind of like what I do. But back then it was really about building the fundamentals to help you kind of build a foundation before you go to where then you're strong enough and then you can shoot threes.
All right. Clearly confident. We've established that, but we haven't seen you a ton in live game action. Yeah. So tell us, you good 3-point shooter?
Yeah, listen, you'll see it coming soon.
I can't wait.
I'm really excited about the team we have this year, and I'm really excited to finally be on the court.
Tell us a little bit about these guys. Obviously you're just getting to know them.
Yeah.
But it is the first official day of practice today, but you've had the summer.
Yeah.
You've had a couple sessions. So, what have you seen from, some of the newcomers?
I could go name by name.
Let's do it.
But, you start with a guy.
You want the roster? Here you go. Go top to bottom. All right.
Well, starting with a guy like Danny Carbuccia, one of that come in, as a freshman, obviously it's always difficult, but a very poised point guard that knows how to pass the ball very well. And a guy guarding a guy like KJ every day and Donovan and myself, us four, kind of at the one spot, has been really, really beneficial for him. KJ's a great scorer.
That's KJ Parker.
KJ Parker's a great scorer. Donovan as well, Donovan Brown. All great scorers from the point guard spot, which you don't necessarily always see, which is great. They still
kind of have the same body type too, right?
Yeah. They're strong guys, and everyone, all four of us, we're good friends, but we've all competed to the point where we know, like, to get each other better, you got to steal the ball from each other once in a while. You gotta put that pressure on them so they know that in the game you can make a pass when there's someone in your face.
So you've got obviously like so much new that you have to incorporate.
Yeah.
But when you look at the front court, you're attacking some of these guys that I just saw the guy you call Ghost.
Ghost, big body, man.
Absolute mammoth.
What I will say about Ghost is, and I'm sure Tony, our strength coach, will attest to this, he wants to work and he wants to get better. And that's a guy who's a beast inside, and he battles for offensive rebounds, but you see him after practice, before practice, running. Just because he wants to get in the best shape possible. He understands that that's an important part of the game. A guy like Leo from Abilene Christian, he's a fifth-year senior, and he understands where to be, he understands what to do, and has great touch. Reminds me a lot of Josh Cohen, the way he used to finish around the rim, just that style.
Just it goes in.
It just finds a way to get in the hoop. And obviously, Luka's been here. Luka's battling inside. Luka's trying to make sure he's establishes himself as a guy inside that can play for this team. Dan Hankins-Sanford's just always been a freak athlete.
He's a beast. Yeah.
Love Dan. Dan's a great guy.
He's always smiling, too.
Always smiling. Always got a great attitude.
Yeah.
He knows what he's doing, and he can just play. CJ also, freak athlete, great defender. Has great length. So when you see him inside, it's kind of like, probably can't go inside right now. Got to kick the ball out. But that front court, it's been fun to see him kind of all understand the ball screen coverages, like you were saying, being in the right place at the right time and just learning how Frank likes to operate. We have a lot of guys that are willing, and that's kind of the most important thing in my opinion, is if you're willing and you try, then he's going to have to find a way to incorporate you.
I'll take my roster back now.
Yeah. Listen, I could go through the wings too.
Let's do it.
DJ, great guy, really, really good athlete, and has come in as a freshman and understands kind of that his game is going to be kind of like Jaden. They're both.
He's a bigger dude too. This DJ Wembley. He goes by DJ.
Yeah, DJ Wembley. He's a guy who, crashes the boards great and can shoot the ball when he's open. He's more of like a downhill power, got great athleticism. But, he can leave the shooting. You got me, Isaiah Placide, great shooter.
I saw
Marcus
him make
Banks,
some threes today. Yeah.
Great shooter, And Bilal Osman, great shooter. You got guys on the wings, those guys that, along with myself, kind of play the 2 and the 3, can play either or. Have spent a lot of time in the gym this summer and this fall, and you can really see it's showing that they're really, really strong from the outside.
When you go back to, I'm not going to rehash fully last year. Obviously didn't go the way that UMass fans wanted to, but when you think back and you say, man, it fell apart. Like, at what point in the season do you think, hey, this is where things kind of went sideways?
I would say the St. Louis game.
Oh, yeah.
I don't even want to bring it up.
Yeah.
That
it was like
game.
7 points in the last.
Unfortunate to say the least. And then we unfortunately got riddled with a bad illness.
Yeah.
I want to say it was the St. Bonaventure or Fordham game. I forget which. I might have been St. Bonaventure.
Like, everybody was just sick.
Yeah, everyone was sick, and we had about 7 guys that could play. And for some reason after that, I don't know if it was just guys were more unwilling or they just kind of realized it was unraveling a little bit, but you didn't see the same energy that we had getting to 4th place. And I think that's something that the last year's team lacked that this team has, is that there's not one guy that's breaking the chain of us being together. You know, unfortunately last year we had a couple guys that were breaking our chain as a unit. And this year we have everyone seems to be connected, and when people get down on themselves, there's other people to pick them back up, which is rare in college basketball.
You talk about just the way the world is now and the way college sports are, and it's changed year in and year out. And now you've got NIL and soon to be the payments from the school.
Absolutely.
I mean, what is it like to be a student athlete these days?
I mean, it's been.
Do you feel fortunate? Do you feel like this is crazy? Like, what?
I'm very, very fortunate.
Yeah.
It's been an incredible time for me in my life. You know, I think navigating the NIL and, you know, our scholarships is something that we don't necessarily talk about with each other as much because, you know, it's more private information and you want to respect people's privacy. But I think it's so great that we can have those people that, you know, are fortunate enough to be paid that amount of money and they still are just one of us. There's no guys that have the ego where it's like, oh, because I'm getting this, because I'm getting that, I'm better than you. Everyone's here to reach a common goal. And I think that's the most important thing when you have a team. You've
got obviously the food aspect here, which we're always pumping our chests about. Number one dining. When you go to the dining hall, what's your go-to meal?
Oh man, I just showed Jaden my go-to meal, and if he's ever on this, he'll tell you that. You can write this note down.
All right.
I make the same exact bowl every single day, and Jaden is now doing the same exact thing.
Okay, so what's in it?
All right, it's spinach, grilled chicken, a singular hamburger.
Okay.
Chickpeas.
Ooh, yeah. All right.
Sweet potato. White rice. What do I add in there? I add squash if they have it.
All right.
Broccoli, avocado. Cut it all up over some white rice, teriyaki sauce, and spicy mayo, all mixed in.
Wow. That's it.
Huh?
You got all the veg in there too. I like that.
All the food groups. It was like a year and a half in the making, just trial and error.
It took you like, hey, you know, let me add this.
Yeah, absolutely. There's some things in the dining hall one day or another where I'll add something in if I see it. I'll take away something if not. But
and look at you, you're an influencer because now you got Jade and Jingay on your team.
I'm trying to put everyone on.
Was he like, hey man, can I get the rundown, or is he just copying you as you're putting stuff in?
I think one day, because me and Jaden will go out to eat at the dining hall a lot, and I think one day he just saw me cutting everything up like in my system. You know, I had it all on one plate, cutting it up, pouring it in. You know, and he was saying like there's a lot of green, there's a lot of good foods in there. Like, what are you doing? And I said, try it. You know, and
protein in there.
He walked with me one day, and that's just honestly that's the most Jaden thing ever, is just seeing something and wanting to learn and wanting to, you know what I mean? So he was
highlights like who he is as a person, right?
Exactly right. He just, every single thing he could have, every tidbit that he could have to get just a little bit better, he's going to take it. So.
All right. I think about when I was in college, and then you see people like me and other support staff around the program, and you must think we're ancient, right? So when you look at like all of us guys with gray hair, and we're like, I'm sitting there trying to listen to what music you guys are warming up to, trying to figure out what's going on. So what is, I guess, the go-to at the start of this season? Like, what are some of the musical artists that you guys are listening to when you're warming up or shooting around? Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of the guys on the team enjoy rap. So you'll hear a lot of Drake. You'll hear a lot of rappers like Lil Baby, Lil Durk, you know, that sort of stuff. I personally don't like listen to that music in my free time, but whenever we listen to it, you know, and there's Young Thug on or something, like for some reason I just enjoy it.
Right,
it feels right. It feels great. So we'll listen to a lot of that, you know. Sometimes Jaden in the gym, because I'm in his lift group. We do 2 lift groups. He'll throw on some old hits, like some old rap. We'll listen to songs by New Edition, Mr. Telephone Man. Shout out that song. I love that song. In the gym, and Michael Jackson, that sort of stuff.
Yeah, he's got a real eclectic.
It's really funny
taste.
because we'll throw on that type of music and people will get just as excited as if we were playing their favorite rap song. So it's great.
When you you're now here in your third season, you've been able to get, I guess, a bedrock of classes underneath your belt. You're in the sports management field.
Yeah.
What are the things that you're studying or looking forward to studying and ultimately, I guess, taking away from your education here?
Yeah. It's a great question. I mean, I'm taking a sport leadership class right now and a business communication class. I think just building kind of my strengths, which I feel like is talking to people and being very personable.
Doing it right now.
I'm trying my best. But, just understanding that those skills are very important for business. Learning how to lead has been a really important aspect that I want to excel at in my career, because I can see myself being a leader, even on the team. I'm trying to be a little bit more hopefully my teammates think so, but I'm trying to help them out the best I can to the best of my ability.
What is a good way to be a leader? I mean, is it to be humble? Is it to be somebody who speaks up at the right time? Because it's not just that person that talks a lot, right?
Yeah. I mean, like you just said, I think a big piece is knowing when to speak up and when not to. A lot of my leadership style is based on the fact, like, I'm reading people and I'm seeing how they react. Coach Frank, if he is talking to someone in a mild manner, I can kind of see that I need to talk to them in a mild manner, just because they might not react the same way as someone who needs to be yelled at.
Yeah.
I'm not necessarily in a place where I need to be yelling at everyone all the time, but if someone I respect and they respect me needs a kick in the pants, I'm going to give them that kick in the pants to make them do better.
Yeah, he has that way of he always says this too. He's like, it takes me a while, because all the teams are new each year these days, to figure out how to motivate somebody, because everybody's different in terms of motivation.
I mean, I knew coming in I needed a coach like Coach Martin, just because. But I mean, I hope, but I realize I've gotten better over time. But my focus can waver sometimes. And I need a coach to really rip into me sometimes if I'm doing something wrong, because that's when my brain says, all right, it's time to go, and I need to be doing it correctly. And I think he knows that, and I think he knows how to coach me very well. I wouldn't do well if someone just didn't really yell at me ever, didn't really, give me that, if I do it wrong one time and then just let it go. It's kind of, you're going to do it wrong until you get it right. And then once you get it right, don't get it wrong. And that's kind of the way that the world works. That's the way our team works. You need to be able to do things the right way all the time.
When I watch practice, and I feel like I've watched quite a bit of basketball in my time, but when I see, it feels like an organized set of chaos sometimes, where it's like, if this guy does this, then you're doing this, and you're slicing the floor this way, but floppy, here's the nail, whatever. Like, it just feels like it's a foreign language, essentially, to learn all these different plays that depend on what the opposition does will then dictate kind of what you do sometimes. So when you're out there, and I mean, you've got guys that their first language isn't English, right?
Yeah.
I mean, do you ever feel like, hey, this is a lot to process, and people just think, hey, I'm a player, I just go out there and play, right? But there's so much structure involved to the way that you guys play.
Well, I think that's something that our assistants have done a great job with. Is Coach Frank can only do so much, and he needs help. Whether it be from guys like me and Jaden who've been here to help out those guys, but I really do think our assistants, Coach Matt, Coach Allen, Coach Steele, and Coach Evans have done a really good job of pulling people to the side when they're doing something wrong, to not interrupt what we're trying to get accomplished, and telling them, watch this guy on the court, watch what you should be doing, and understand that that's where you're going to be playing. So when you get in there, don't screw it up anymore. Watch the guy in front of you. If you have any questions, ask us, and we'll help you. And I think they've done a really good job of helping the guys that need more help. Or even, we're all human. We all screw up. But when we do, the coaches know to come to us and tell us what we've done wrong. They're not going to let it slide. And that's important, because in the game, the other team is going to capitalize.
Yeah. We've got a trip to the Virgin Islands this year.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great. We went to Hawaii 2 years ago. That was your freshman year. When we're on the flight, what are the things you're going to be watching on your phone?
Ooh, that's a good question. I just finished Game of Thrones.
Just finished
Just
it?
finished Game of Thrones.
Oh, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, I watched it a long time ago, and I said to myself, you know what? I was too young to really appreciate it.
In it. Yeah.
I had to be in it, so I watched it again. That was great. I might get into House of Dragon.
Okay,
so
which will be the next evolution of Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be a
so
long.
now you need a new show.
To
watch throughout this.
Yeah,
the
I mean,
season.
I've been told The Sopranos is great.
Yeah, I guess your generation. I mean, how old were you when The Sopranos came out?
Oh, jeez, I don't even know. Long time ago.
How old are you now?
21.
So, what? Early 2000s, maybe.
I mean, I don't even remember it being on air.
Yeah, I mean, it was a big deal. Like, it was like a groundbreaking. Like, HBO came up with this Sopranos, and it just took off. And every week, you would have to watch the episode as it came out. I know this is a new concept to your generation, but like after whatever Thursday, they'd drop a new episode, and everyone would watch and then talk about it the next day.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I guess you can download them all and
just watch it all the way
trip
through. Yeah.
Virgin
Absolutely.
Islands, you know.
Absolutely.
So for you personally, okay, here you are in your redshirt sophomore season, your third year here. Do you set goals for yourself? I mean, what are some of the things you're trying to take away from as you get into this year, both, you know, on campus and on the court?
Yeah. I mean, my goal this year, obviously, I want to help our team win on the court. So, you know, whether it be for 10 minutes or whether it be for 25, I want to be a guy who gets in and can give us energy, hit some shots when I need to, and just be a guy that can help other people when I'm on the court. You know, I want to do my part, but I also want to be a guy that people can count on to understand where they're supposed to be. So if they need someone to help them, I can be a guy that can help them.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's what Frank needs from the guys that have returned. Is maybe I think there was times where we weren't doing as good of a job of it, and we recognized it, kind of talked to each other and said, we need to be better leaders on this team. And it's not necessarily, like I said before, it's not yelling at someone in practice, but I like to do stuff after practice and talk to them and say, hey, when we run this play, you know, you have to be there to there, or just call them over for a second when no one's watching. Just helping them when no one sees it, because that's kind of the most important thing, is just getting them to where they need to be.
If it's not spending all your free time playing basketball, what else would you be doing?
Building Legos. That's it. Building Legos. That's anyone who knows me knows I am an avid Lego builder. I love it. I just bought the Jaws commemorative Lego. I'm building that in my room right now.
And those aren't cheap, right? The
no,
Lego sets
cheap.
are not.
They're not cheap. I remember I called my dad to tell him I bought it, and then I called my mom, and my mom was like, "You did what?" I was like, "I'm sorry, Mom. I'm sorry, I had to."
So is your childhood home full of like Lego sets?
Yeah, big time.
How many times did your mom step on a Lego when you were a kid?
Probably more than I can
cursing
count.
at you.
More than I can count. But no, during the time where no one's here, and during J term, when we don't have classes and everyone goes home, after practice and after you get extra shots, I like to come back after practice and get extra shots up. So after that period of time when I'm just in my room instead of watching TV, my parents will buy me like the Christmas present of like one of those big Legos, and I'll spend that month and a half in the afternoons building that big Lego just in my room or in the
Is it like
room.
An engineering thing for you, or is this like a soothing like click that you enjoy?
It really is. I mean, it's one of those things where my brain just works in the way where I love the idea of seeing something start from nothing and just like become something massive. And I don't even like help. Like, I hate when people try to help me because I want it to be like my thing. Like, I don't like it when people intervene. It's just a great. I've always liked it since I was a little kid.
Are you good at math?
No, terrible. Not one of I'm taking calculus right now. And it's
that's something.
It's kicking my butt.
All right. Well, you have to actually speak into class. We literally dragged you from practice to come up here to be our guinea pig for the first show of the year to restart the Plant the Flag podcast.
I mean, I'm happy to be here.
So maybe we can get you back in a couple weeks.
Yeah, I'd love to. Yeah, absolutely. I hope I did an okay job.
You did great. Keep up the good work, and we'll look forward to seeing you build some Legos and build some wins this year.
Thank you very much for having me.
All right, Rollie Castineyra, everybody, big thanks for joining us throughout the show. You can download, subscribe, make sure you share it with your friends as well, and you can check out all the podcasts of the UMass Minute and the Just Being Frank. Hopefully we'll have a new one of those coming up once recruiting is over next week. For Rollie Castineyra from the J. Burnham Podcast Emporium, we'll see you next time.